Alright, hello everyone, it's Mr. Punkquist from Heavy Mow Bound, and this rapid hit is a little late. You see, this was originally supposed to cap off the Summer of SWAT I did a couple months back as a sort of final test to see if I improved, but because I am very good at managing time, I completely forgot about it. Thankfully, there's no better time than the holidays to cozy up under a warm blanket and play a game you enjoy for an ungodly amount of time. So I decided that this has instead become the Rapid Hit SWAT Miss Holiday Special, where I learned the true meaning of the season by trying to retain anything I learned over the past few months, and hopefully taking that game knowledge into a new year of prosperous, slightly above average opening SWAT gameplay. Anyways, for this Rapid Hit, I'll be playing 50 games of Halo Infinite SWAT, if that wasn't already obvious. Similarly to the Destiny 2 Rapid Hit, I'll be tracking the win-loss throughout, but will instead provide a record every 10 games instead of 5, so any win, or more likely loss streaks, will be more noticeable. And if rank SWAT is ever in rotation while I'm recording, I will keep track of my rank for however many games I've played in that playlist. Plus, since SWAT is a Slayer game mode, I'm also going to keep a counter in the background of how many positive to negative KD games I have, since getting good was the main focus of me starting opening SWAT in the first place. I look forward to having accurate data for just how bad I am. Just like last time, all the data will be shown in the conclusion section at the end. I'll also be keeping track / highlighting how many levers I get per game. Not for stats sake, but mainly just to give all my bitching and moaning some concrete evidence. For future reference. And as per usual, every single game will be shown here, whether it be through good clips, things I want to point out about my gameplay that I did well / poorly, or just a scoreboard and a small showcase of me getting shit on. Without further ado, grab some eggnog and find a corner to camp in. This is the Halo Infinite SWAT Miss Holiday Special, also known as Rapid Hit Halo Infinite. So we're starting off this whole thing extremely strong with 2 people leaving less than a minute into the match. That of course won't stop me from pulling off some nice kills from some nasty angles, which is honestly one of the best aspects of SWAT for me. I also send this lieutenant to the Doom Dimension. I honestly fucked him up so bad he had to leave in shame, which brings the number of levers up to 3 in one game if you're counting. Oh wait, sorry, did I say 3? I actually meant 4. What a great start. Final KD, 11-5. Moving on to game number 2, we have another Halo 5 remake as a Tenra map. And this one even I recognized on my first playthrough. I start off with a nice kill, and then proceed to get completely shit on by a guy who literally just walked up next to me. Looking back at this gameplay, I think my long range game is alright, but my close range needs a lot of work. Moving on to get 2 nice little kills here, and what I like most about this is the simple fact that I didn't just run after the second guy, I basically just followed to where I expected him to be, and then shot him for the super easy kill. Not really like a crazy read or anything, just kind of a nice simple clip to show deep down inside there might be some game sense developing from 1 decade of playing the same exact games. Another set of kills and another nice little read, but what I like most about this one is the little head peeks I do instead of just running out. And for the record, I'm only mentioning that now because throughout the rest of this Rapid Hit, I will do the exact opposite and die about 1 billion times to it. So, gotta point out the positives now. Despite all my big brain plays, we still have a butt-clenchingly close ending to this match. Thankfully, though, my teammates come in clutch and we win it. Final KD, 16-10. Starting off strong with a lever here, negative 10 seconds into a match. And the enemy scoring a kill-tacular on us. But just when it seems like the whole game is shocked, our team begins to pop off just a little bit. I begin going on a little spree around tower side, and we manage to extend our lead even further. Sadly, the best and worst thing about SWAT is how fast the matches can flip. We end up choking a lead and losing by 2 points. Final KD, 10-10. First game on the new map that came in Season 5, and it is not starting off great. But hey, a couple of bad spawns and some team quarters won't stop me from going on a little streak around the spawn tunnels. I don't actually know the calls of this map yet. Scratch that, what will stop me is 90% of my team quitting, leaving me and this rogue Peppermint Spartan in a bit of an Alamo situation. We try our best, and even make it to the 40 kill mark, but unsurprisingly, a 2v4 on a map I've never played ends in a loss. Who'd have thunk? Final KD, 22-14. We get our first game in the series with Bandit starts, and since I am physically incapable of doing well with the V1 Bandit, I'm going to use this time, and basically every other time I have a Bandit, complaining about this dysfunctional embarrassment of a weapon. Probably while the 1 or 2 clips I can barely get play in the background. It is criminal that the V2 Bandit isn't available in SWAT. I pay a lot of money / deliver a lot of cookies to swap the Bandits out and send the older one to the Halo content vault. Final KD, 16-9. Joined this game in progress with 1 billion people leaving and joining, so I couldn't really do much. But here's a nice little angle into one side of the map that I found, but never used. And, like the, one alright clip I got. Final KD, 6-7. Another rough game on a tenderified version of a bad map, in my opinion. Our team was getting completely flattened, thanks to the fact this enemy team double peaked like they were sharing the same brain. Luckily though, it worked to our advantage with this little 3-piece, until the 4th brain took me out. I would say I put up a fight and tried to carry my team to victory, but I did not. Final KD, 13-12. Another bandit game, oh boy. Well, at least this one starts with 2 kind of funny kills. For the record, dying because your gun is too long is another strike against the V1 Bandit. Another thing I fucking hate about this weapon is that the reticle is way too busy. It makes it really hard to be accurate at long ranges because you have like 6 different circles you're focusing on, which makes no sense because long range is where the DMR should thrive. Maybe that's just me, but it's honestly just one of the reasons why I hate this thing so goddamn much. Anyways, enough pitching, for now. While I was cosplaying as a 90-year-old who stole the controller from my grandson, my team turned up and got the win. Final KD, 6-10. I'm going to be honest, I was kind of popping off this game. Not just pulling off multiple streaks, but also generally feeling the most comfortable I felt in the series so far. That confidence in gameplay did not change the outcome of the match for the record. We got overkilled right out of the game. Final KD, 14-12. Oh boy, another game where my team is minus 10 kills in the hole and I have to pull off a lucky 3-piece to even get something going. The great and terrible thing about solo SWAT is that the entire match can be decided by one person's skill. The only problem, of course, is I'm just not that guy. Well, I mean, skill or the entire team just camping angles for the last 10 points. That also could decide a game. Final KD 12-8. Current win-loss 3-7. I start off this match well enough with an auto mantle 2-piece, and even showing off some impressive bobbing before getting completely shit on, but the kill deficit hits again and we just can't recover in time. Final KD 11-7. On the 12th game of SWAT, 3-4-3 gave it to me 6 helpful team traits, 500 missed shots, 4 rapid kills, 3 godly angles, 2 flashy kills, and a 12-11 KD. And if you thought I was going to sing that, you're fucking insane. Game number 13 had a lot of alright kills, but honestly never flashy enough to clip. Like for example, this clip would have been nice if the game didn't completely freeze on me for no reason. I was trying my hardest to get out of this loss streak, but like I said, I'm just not that guy. Final KD 16-13. This next game, I couldn't buy a kill if they stuffed it into a rec pack. This team was just significantly better, and not only gunning me and my entire team, but reading exactly where we spawn. Even though I did manage to pull off a couple of nice double kills, this was one of those games where I'm very happy these aren't live comp games, because let me tell you, I was one toxic motherfucker during this whole thing. Final KD 7-14. We got another bandit game? That's a skip. I'm only half joking here because we got thrown against the wall like a wet paper towel this match. Here's a tip by the way, don't play SWAT between 10 AM and 2 PM, because apparently that's when the demons get on. Final KD 9-11. For game 16, I'd like to introduce you to the worst map in SWAT history. It probably plays better in normal modes, but with the layout of an MC Escher painting and verticality that would make Die Rise blush, I can't fucking stand it. Anyways, on to the match. It was a pretty weird game to start, with 3-4-3 apparently giving me a break from all the god gamers I've been playing recently, replacing them with, to put it nicely, total fucking bots. Seriously, there's no way I lose to them, right? Seriously, there is absolutely no way I lose to them. So it turns out that even when I am kind of that guy, I'm still not. Final KD 21-12. In an attempt to mentally bounce back from that last game, I scored 2 spawn kills right off the bat. But this game ended up being one of those games where every kill was just instantly traded by the enemy team. At this point, I'll be happy if I'm not triple negative on the final win-loss for this series. Final KD 7-13. Starting game 18 in progress and as a team of 3. I would just like to remind everyone that if you leave a game for any reason other than I or a loved one are in immediate danger and about to die, you're a coward and a bitch. We attempted to come back, but of course it was too late. Final KD 4-3. Got another bandit turn on to kick this game off, and some honestly alright movement shots. Am I finally getting good with the bandit? Usually I would hard cut here to equip me being completely trash, but here's a 3-piece. Honestly, what I'm doing is I'm front loading this game with all the sprees I get, mostly because I know I'll never play this well with the bandit again. Like my shots here were strangely crispy, and yet we were still only up by 2 kills. At this point in the game, I was wondering why we were losing by so much all of a sudden, when I checked the scoreboard, and of course, I tried my best to stop the bleeding, but it ended the way they all do. Final KD 21-13. Like a lot of games in this series, it started off so promisingly. A nice little visit from Colleen Adderall, a close scoreline, basically all the makings for a fun game. And then everything changed when that Canadian fuck on the other team decided to have the game of his career. Just a nice little reminder that no matter how good you think you are, there will always be better players just under the surface. Final KD 9-13. Current win-loss 3-17. Current mental space in the fucking gutter. New session, same suck. Despite a couple of nice kills, including one of the ballsiest launcher jumps of my career, we still couldn't pull out a win. Final KD 21-10. Honestly, is it too late to cancel this whole thing and just do a splitty video instead? I tried to regain and manage a couple separated double kills, but say it with me, we still couldn't pull out a win. Final KD 9-11. Hold on. An AFK player not on my team? Is this a fake video? Surely we can't lose this one, right? Yeah, you stupid, of course we won it. Half the team was AFK for 3/4 of the match. I'll tell you what, I definitely wasn't worried, as they continued to outgun me for the last few kills. Final KD 7-7. So for game number 24, we got ourselves another bandit game. But this one just felt different, you know? Like it just felt like my bandit shots were like 75% more consistent, and I don't know if I can credit that with me getting comfortable with it 2 years later, or if I was just host. But whatever it was, it led to back-to-back dubs, so we'll take it. Final KD 12-8. To start off this game, I want to give a little advice. And fair enough if you don't want to listen to the guy who just went on a 10+ losing streak, but if you're playing SWAT, never use grab lifts. I can count on one hand the amount of times in my infinite career that actually worked out for me. Anyways, on to the rest of the match. I do jack shit and get carried to another win. That's one way to mark the halfway point. Final KD 7-7. I got thrown into game 26 at mock speed, but once the game slowed down, I realized what I think is my biggest problem with how I play SWAT. I show way too much of myself during gunfights, when I really don't need to. Here's a great example of that. I also have a problem with my melees, but I honestly think that's unfixable. Final KD 8-13. Now you may think it's weird that the only games I can manage to win are the ones where I'm getting hard carried by randoms, but honestly that's actually very in line with my lore, so I think it's fine. Jokes aside, it really does seem like I lose brain cells the second I realize my teammates are vaguely competent at shooting. Whatever though, dub's a dub. Final KD 6-8. So spoilers for 10 to 15 seconds from now, but we got ourselves another back-to-back dub, and even people leaving and joining can't stop me from beaming. One thing I've noticed though is more gamer tags that I've played with before are coming back during these games, so I think I found the perfect matchmaking algorithm to not get completely fucked every game. Final KD 12-11. Oh, never mind. A 2v4 with bandits on this map? This is actually hell. Whatever though, hit the regain, got some more people, and even got a couple of double kills using the teleporter, and my lack of punching skills. Obviously we didn't win, but this felt like a great mental test for me. Final KD 7-9. Starting off game 30 with the weirdest death I've ever seen. Like, what is that angle? Getting past that though, I do pop off just a little bit this game, including 2 kills, with the last one being a little bit of a movement diff, and this 2-piece involving the world's first sightline kill for me. Like seriously, I don't think in my 94 hours of infinite gameplay, I've ever killed someone from this angle. Wasn't all slain though. Shout out Cloister. But we still pulled off the dub anyway, so this won't haunt me for the rest of my days. Final KD, 12-9. Current win-loss, 9-21. Starting off this game in a good mood. I'm back on the good looking contender maps, and I start off a SWAT match not getting completely shit on for once. It's all looking good. In fact, I'm kind of really popping off. I'm winning melee fights, I'm sneaking up on people, and definitely not missing shots at non-moving targets. I mean, if everyone keeps spawning in AFK, this might be my game. Oh, okay, I get it now. Well, time to take my free win, because people can't just stay in a goddamn match. Skip it to the end and get one final double kill to seal the deal on the snooze fest of a match, and end with a final KD of 11-8. For game 32, we get on the 10 red version of Pit, which I think is the second or third version in the game right now. It's a little weird, but when I'm coming from COD with currently 5 versions of Nuketown and 6 of Shipment, I probably shouldn't be talking. Anyways, this match made me realize a trend with these SWAT matches. On average, a game of SWAT for myself involves either a rocky start with a late pop-off, or a strong start with a delayed beatdown, and I'll let you guess which one this is. If you guessed complete breakdown, you were correct. My team and I got absolutely destroyed this game, and even when I tried to get any momentum back from my team, it was all a waste of time. You know why? Because the cowards left us out in the cold. Final KD 14-14. Bandit games, especially with gameplay as bad as this, are a big fat skip. Final KD 10-12. Game 34 was set up to be an even better sequel to the boring Bandit game that just happened before, right until the end. After an extremely slow start, I finally started popping off to give us the lead in this neck and neck game. Last 9 kills and I decided to lock in. Hitting bandit shots I didn't even think were possible. With that kill, we have a 4-point lead. We can't possibly choke this, right? Before I can even finish that thought in my head, the enemy team basically squad wipes my team and ties up the score. Teammate gets us 1, and I turn on another to hit 49. For the last kill, I'm stuck facing a shoulder peeking Andy, but luckily he shows way too much of himself, and I get the kill to secure the win. Pretty much the only close ending in this entire thing, but I won't lie, I got hyped as fuck after this. Final KD 16-9. In typical Punkwist fashion, I follow one of my best games with one of my worst. This is why I should never be allowed to get hyped. I overheat way too easily once I get a little in-game confidence. Final KD 7-13. As we reach the business end of this whole thing, the team leavers have come out in full force. This has to be a glitch, because if you're leaving 0.5 seconds into a match, then like why even matchmake? Whatever. Even down 3-4, we're still smacking these people around. Smacking them around so much that they decide to even the odds by fucking leaving as well. Lucky me, I ended up in an entire lobby full of children with egos the size of moons. I try to regain and end up squad wiping the team multiple times by basically just running back and forth between the spawns, and let me tell you, this exciting gameplay was just way too much to handle. I was on the edge of my seat while playing this game and while writing the notes for it. In the end, me and the last 2 players on my team kill the only 2 other people there and win the game. Yay. Final KD 18-4. Man, why is this game so goddamn slow? I wonder what happened. Oh, cool. Okay, that makes sense. Got it. You know, one thing I will give 3 for 3 is even when there are levers, people join in relatively quickly most times. Let me tell you though, I bet Cadfog's rapid hit is popping off right now, if this game is any indication. But for me, well, I managed 2 kills on a couple of AFK guys, but other than that, not much else to hang around for. Final KD 10-12. The game starts off great, but I'm able to bounce back thanks to some good centering and a couple of nice bandit kills. Never thought I'd say that. You know, I was honestly doing surprisingly well at this game, especially against Dirty Rotten Crouch Walkers. But it just wasn't enough to catch up, and we lose yet again. Final KD 12-12. We land on the dogshit Plaza remake, I will die on this hill, but it starts off better than most, with an easy double kill on 2 Oblivious Spartans. People begin to leave, of course, but that won't stop me from streaking. Well, actually, one thing will stop me, but I can't really blame this guy when the match ends in a 3v4 with one person going 0-13. Final KD 10-5. Alright, we've officially made it into the last 10 matches, and as a potential bad sign for the last stretch, we get completely rolled this game. People leave, I'm getting spawn killed, it's just super ultra mega shocked. I mean, I'm fighting for my life, just trying not to get spectaculared, and thankfully we do pull it off. But obviously it was only a matter of time before the other team finished us off. Final KD 13-18. Current win-loss 13-27. In honor of this being the last 9 matches, I decided to pull out the Peppermint Spartan for old time's sake. And off the bat, it seemed to work really well. Shout out to the bonus aim assist you gave for being holly jolly in this game. It was going so well, in fact, that not only did I get a little too excited and cloister myself again, but also the entire enemy team ran away in fear. We still end up losing because, of course you do, but at this point I've accepted that the win-loss will probably be in the triple negative, so who cares? Final KD 9-12. Game 42 lands us on a brand new Tenra map. That also isn't a remake for once. Not only a brand new map, but also one that I genuinely enjoyed playing on. It's a Christmas miracle. Those were the only exciting parts of this game though. It ended up being a very generic hold left trigger and wait style SWAT match, but at least we won. Final KD 15-13. Game 43 was kind of a bloodbath for the other team. I don't know what happened with matchmaking, but I felt like a lot of kills I got this game were basically handed to me on a silver platter. And let me tell you, after 40-ish games of the exact opposite happening, this felt amazing. Final KD 10-7. Got another brand new map for this game, and let me tell you, I have yet to see a big map work in SWAT ever, and especially not in a game like Infinite. But thanks to the power of editing, I can skip all the boring E3 walking and get straight to the kills. But like seriously though, where the fuck did I die from? How many angles are in just this one section of the map? And again, I'm sure this plays fine in normal modes, but honestly, I think map vetting for SWAT would go a long way in this game. Rant aside, My team was luckily better at holding the same angle for 12 minutes and shooting anything that moves, so we got the win. Final KD 15-7. I love this map, man. This match started off great. My team and I were slaying out, the score was stretching to spectacular levels. The match was basically ours, until I decided to fumble every single kill for the next 5 minutes. Honestly, taking out the context that I'm the one getting shit on, this was legitimately one of the greatest comebacks I've seen in SWAT. Luckily though, my team carries me over the finish line, but man, my butt was clenched for those last 4 minutes. Final KD 9-11. For game 46, we have a mixed bag with Bandit SWAT on live fire. It starts off pretty well, before sliding into the usual shit that comes with this temperamental wannabe scout rifle. While we proceed to get shit on by the enemy team, I do pull a nice little spree, including completely destroying the Spartan trying to shoot me in the back, but that's basically it. Final KD 14-14. Bandits on this map with half the team already gone? That's a skip, I'll see you in game 48. Final KD 10-13. Actually, game 48 is much better either. Game in progress on a map the size of Canada, so it didn't exactly go well. Despite my best efforts, i.e. exactly 1 3-piece, we lose as expected. Final KD 6-9. Alright, here we go. The penultimate match. And we start off with a clean squad wipe. For some reason, this map always leads off with my team streaking right out of the gate and gaining a significant lead. And of course, because the scriptwriters are hacks, the other team begins a comeback. Wait, this isn't how it's supposed to go. Jokes aside, they did make it closer than it needed to be, but compared to last time, I wasn't sweating at all. Final KD 14-7. In some sort of cosmic karma punishment, we get the Bandit for the final match. Can I turn this into a lesson though? Maybe bounce back and show that I've learned something during these 50 games? No. I mean, to be honest, you can see how checked I am when I start trying to melee ghosts. This game was honestly so bad that I actually thought about doing another one and quote-unquote losing this footage, but I thought that'd be cheesy, so here you go. Instead, actually, I'm going to use the last few clips of this game to once again beg 343 to put the new Bandit into SWAT, and to throw this one out for good. Either way, in typical rapid hit fashion, we end not with a bang or even a boom, but a whisper. Final KD 6-7. Final win-loss 18-32. Alright, conclusion time. I'm not gonna lie, I did this rapid hit not only because I said I would do it in July and wanted to follow through on something for once, but also because after doing basically 2 uninterrupted years of opening SWATs, plus an entire summer of weekly episodes, I thought this would be a breeze. Basically, 50 games of me in my comfort game mode, where I could finally show off my skills at a rapid hit, and it did not go how I thought it would. Like, this grind kind of made me hate SWAT, not just as a game mode, but the people who play it as well. Like, listen, I understand that in any multiplayer game, it's not just about your personal KD, but if you're playing with a team, or capturing objectives, or whatever. But when it comes to non-objective game modes and this test, I feel like I can sling a little salt. Like, why did I go 25-19 on positive to negative KD games for this whole series, and still end with an insanely terrible 18-32 win-loss? And I'm sure a lot of my negative games were also me completely throwing someone else's positive games, but it just doesn't feel good. And honestly, it reminds me of why I've really gotten tired of non-objective game modes. Well, that and the other reason why I love SWAT so much, which was originally because it always felt so much faster compared to the other Halo modes. Alternatively though, these past few months/years, SWAT has felt significantly slower than core modes. In my opinion, it's mainly due to the New Year's Eve level of lack of movement going on from the player base. And before the completely warranted cope comments come in, there is a difference between playing slow and holding down an area because of the low time to kill mode, and literally holding left trigger on one lane of the map until you see something move. And besides that actually, there's also one even bigger problem that plagues the player base, that I've been mentioning for months now at this point. The complete lack of integrity when it comes to staying in the game. I know I said I was only going to track this for personal reasons, but after looking into it, I kind of had to share it. In my 50 games of Halo Infinite SWAT, I had 24 of my games be ruined by one or more of my players leaving before it was over. And that was just me taking notes after games whenever I thought about it. I wasn't actively going for this besides the fact that I just wanted to keep track of it. 24 out of 50 is ridiculous. And I hope not only 343, but every other developer who runs a multiplayer/live service game looks into this going into the new year. Quitters penalty should be mandatory, not just for ranked, but especially for core/quick play modes. And I will honestly die on that hill. Wasn't all bad though. I think I definitely improved with the Bandit, even though I'd say 50% of those games were complete garbage gameplays out of me, and the BR is still easy as fuck to use, so of course nothing changed there. But comparing most games in this rapid hit to an opening SWAT game from even as recently as November shows that I've somewhat regressed in certain aspects. I'm talking about movement and aiming here, but at the same time I'm also kind of blaming that on the fact that my controller is getting completely torn down thanks to a new COD release, so I'm not too worried about that yet. The biggest thing I learned though is that opening SWAT might be taking a break going into the new year because this whole thing completely drained the fun out of the mode for me. And then again, while I'm editing this, I also want to log back in and play right now, so, there probably will end up being more opening SWATs and more rapid hits in the future for Halo. I mean, after all, SWAT will always be my go-to mode for Halo, just because of how great it is when it's played at its peak. And honestly, I hope one day I can get good enough to actually enjoy it at that level again. Or whenever they get rid of the dog shit version 1 Bandit. Anyways, this is Mr. Punkquist from Heavy Mullenbound signing out. I will see you guys next time. Happy holidays.